everyone. As you remember me, I'm Ann Knight. I work for the University of Missouri Extension. I am here today. I've been going through the food groups, talking about shopping, and so today we're going to focus on this group, the purple group, the protein group. And when we talk about the protein group, we say we want to go lean with protein. So, when we talk about protein, and what it does mean lean is less fat in protein. So, a good, as I always say, half your plate could be fruits and vegetables. That's a way to eat less protein because you can mix your food like with vegetables, fajitas, spaghetti, different things where you're including a lot of the food groups, but less of that protein group. So, when we talk about it it builds your muscle strength, it helps with your immune system. So, it has lots of iron. When we talk about red meat, it has lots of iron that is good for if you're anemic. But do we just need to fill up on high fat proteins like animal proteins that do have a lot of fat in them? Some of them are. We can trim the fat off, get lower cuts of fat, like on your hamburger meat. Try to stay with 90-10. And when you cook your hamburger meat, like in the skillet, or you can grill it or bake it, but when you take something like hamburger meat, ground beef, you cook it in the skillet, put it in your strainer, rinse off some of the fat, or the most of the fat, clean your skillet and put it back in there. And then if you're going to make spaghetti, now something like spaghetti with the red sauce would be better for you than adding a lot of butter and heavy cream. So when we talk about plant proteins, they have more of the good fats we need. Along with fish, which is an animal protein, but that skin is the good fats, not the bad fats. Okay, like black beans, which have fiber too. That are our best choices. Now we've just finished the holiday season, and we talk about keeping food safe. Okay, so when we talk about keeping food safe, when you get something like a turkey, put in the oven. First of all, we need to thaw it correctly. You need to thaw it in the refrigerator. Don't just put it in the sink because the temperature goes down and you do not want it in that unsafe area. So, put it in the bottom of your refrigerator on a cookie sheet or something, and put that and let it thaw slowly. It takes a few days if it's a big turkey. So, or big chicken, something like that. You do not want to just put it in the sink and do that. Also, when you get ready to fix a chicken, turkey, when you take it out of that oven, you have 2 hours, and that's the time you take it out of the oven to when you eat it. And once you're done, you need to put it back and refrigerate it. Okay? Also, cross-contamination in eating proteins like chicken and turkey. You don't like fix your turkey, you get everything together. Watch those cutting boards. You do not want to contaminate a cutting board and then put your vegetables on it. So make sure you're doing your vegetables. A lot of people we've gotten where we use different cutting boards and they need to be cleaned. And also in the refrigerator and in your grocery sacks. You don't need protein along with, you don't need chickens and meat along with your vegetables and your fruit. You want them in a separate bag. They should do that at the grocery store. Most of the time they do. But that needs to not be cross-contaminated. Also, when you get home, make sure you're just not getting the chicken and all that poultry all over the place. Also, this is a meat thermometer. So you want to make sure when you're cooking your meat, you're using a meat thermometer to get to the right temperature. Okay? Also, my son-in-law, who cooks meat very well, says when you cut it with a knife when it's cooking, that you're letting a lot of those juices out. So it's not only for temperature, well, it really is for temperature, but for taste, because if you go cutting it to see if it's done. So you need to get the right temperature for meats, okay? And fish and whatever, chicken, hamburger meat. So when we talk about proteins and how many really ounces of protein we need, it's about 7 to 9. And you think, oh, that doesn't sound like much, but that's where we need to cut down on a lot of animal fat, a lot of protein. Protein foods do build your muscles, as I said, but that's along with physical activity. It's not just, oh, I'm just going to eat all this protein all day. You need to do it. So when you're talking about something and a serving, you do it in ounces, about 7 to 9 ounces. The other foods we do in measurement, but it's more like ounces. So a serving of chicken would be about this size, about 3 ounces. The size, the palm of your hand is about 3 ounces. So that's ideal. So for breakfast, say you're going to have an egg, that's just 1 ounce. And as I said, you can take that egg, put a little milk in it, make an omelet, put some vegetables. Some people like salsa on their eggs. So that's a 3 ounces. Then a half a cup of beans is about 2 ounces. So we get 3, 4, 5. And then say you have like 3 or 4 ounces of chicken. So that's about a day's worth of protein to spread it out a little bit. So when we talk about proteins, and as I said, we want to go lean with proteins. We want to do things, fish, that is very good and has those good oils in it. So today, and you can pick up this recipe, it's tuna salad, okay? Which tuna you want packed in the water, not the oil. And then you need to make sure, so this is 2 cloves. I have 1 per finger. There we go. As we always keep everything clean, your surface is clean. Make sure when you buy your canned goods that they aren't dented or just kind of torn up, where they are, and especially if it is a hole. Make sure your date is not expired. It's easy. It's my good one too. I'm fumbling here. Oh, and any of these oils, you don't want to put those down your sink, of course. So you just kind of drain. Always make sure on tuna you get it in water, not oil. But I still drain it because it does kind of take some of the fat out of it. Oh, and also when we talked about shopping, I ended up buying a store brand. Basically the same, a little cheaper. Sometimes just, you can watch, sometimes you can have the frozen. I always think tuna's a good thing to take to work, or I just leave it at work. So tuna, and then I went ahead and measured a cup of celery, which I love the crunch of the celery, and then a cup of seedless grapes, and I use purple. Now when you're using fruit, I gotta look what's on sale, which these were pretty good. They were 50 cents a pound, which to me is good. The red ones were. I think they add, and I just kind of cut them in half. And then 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. And I sure like this squirt one. I feel like I don't worry so much about, you know, getting it's kind of not handy to not have a sink, or, no, I can't rinse this off. I should have brought 2 tablespoons. What I think I'm going to do, so on these 2, we always want to make sure that that's clean. So what I'm going to do is use the half. You just use 4 of those. How's that sound? Not use that mayonnaise-y. So this is plain yogurt. And guys, if you have not tried yogurt plain, you don't want strawberry, I didn't use Greek, I just used plain yogurt. And it just adds a little. You can't even tell it. And you're getting a lot less fat. And you're also getting a serving, part of the serving, you're getting dairy. Mayonnaise is not considered in the dairy group. It's got too much fat, but yogurt is. So sometimes you could just, this recipe calls for half mayonnaise and half yogurt. But you could use all mayonnaise. All yogurt. I like to put just plain yogurt on a potato, on a taco salad. It's a lot lower in fat. Like I said, it's considered part of the dairy. I know mayonnaise and butter have milk in them, but not enough to make a source of dairy. You can serve this several ways. Lettuce leaf. You try to make a wrap out of it. Grapes kind of give it some color. You can add mandarin oranges to it, some kind of other fruit, like I've had an apple with it before. And also some whole grain crackers to make a wrap out of that. Some whole grain crackers. So very lean. Also added fruit and a vegetable with the celery. Like I said, you could put it on crackers, a whole grain bread, a wrap. Many uses for it, and just a handy thing to have around. Just lasts forever. And just add what you have. So I will see y'all next month, and just have a good day. Thank you.